Back here with another fun and energetic podcast episode. As in this episode, you'll be seeing my predictions of the Week 3 NFL matchups. You already know a lot of teams, once they hit that 0-3 mark, it's pretty much downhill from there. So there's a lot of teams that are either 0-2 or 1-1 that need to win this week if they want to keep their Super Bowl chances alive. So I'll give my predictions, but first, let's cue that Metro! Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Anthony Hudson, and it's my turn to give you one of the best upcoming sports podcasts out here, you heard? And today we'll be talking about Week 3 NFL predictions. So let's go ahead and get straight into it with Thursday Night Football, Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills. Miami Dolphins has been struggling this year, 0-2, lost to a divisional matchup last week against the Patriots, kept it really close, but got absolutely blown out week 1, 33-8. So it was a good bounce back. I feel like they fought hard. They played really great as far as the running game with a chain, and Tua played great. But it ended up them losing, I think, to a touchdown or a kick return, one of the two, to the Patriots. And that was just a tough way to swallow that loss, and now they have to go to Buffalo very next week, Thursday Night Football, prime time, and play the Buffalo Bills, who already beat one of the best teams in the AFC with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. And Buffalo Bills had a blowout win last week, so we're looking to see if the Buffalo Bills, or we looking to see if Miami can at least compete and maintain or get some momentum against the Buffalo Bills. But it's looking to be a blowout. My predictions for this game, and I'm going to give predictions for all teams, but my prediction for this game is Buffalo beating them by a score at least 20. So probably like 32-10. 32-10, man. It's not going to be close. Josh Allen's probably going to have 4 to 5 touchdowns. Keon Coleman has been solidified as that, or I feel like solidified or on a way to be that number one receiver for the Buffalo Bills. So it's not going to be close. It's not going to be close at all. Then we're going to go ahead and go to my Atlanta Falcons at Carolina. My Atlanta Falcons are 1-1. This will be one of the first Sunday games at 1 p.m. They're 1-1. They just won that great running game against the Vikings last week. And then the Panthers are 0-2, still having some struggles as far as finding their chemistry with Bryce Young and the rest of them, with Xavier Legette. And it's going to be a close game. Honestly, I really do feel like it's going to be a close game. The reason saying so is because we literally just ran the ball so much that I feel like it's going to take a little bit of time for Penix to find that throwing game back, or get back to that throwing game and finding his targets down the field. So I feel like it's going to be close, not terribly close, maybe like a touchdown or so. It might be like 24-27, but Atlanta's still going to win because they just had the better pieces and better overall team. Their defense played lights out the week before. So I feel like it could be the same. If they do get blown out, Panthers, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's a divisional game, so you already know it might be a little bit close. So 24-17. Then you go to the Green Bay Packers at the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are 0-2. They've had some pretty good games. Kept it really close against Cincinnati, which I really liked. And they are going to lose, in my opinion, to the Green Bay Packers, because Green Bay Packers have one of the best defenses in the NFL. I cannot say this enough, and I'm going to stop saying it so much because people think I'm glazing. So we already know about the trade. Jordan Love has been playing great. Matthew Golden has been playing great as well. So, or definitely been a weapon for Jordan Love as far as that. I wouldn't say great because it's only been 2 weeks, but he's definitely going to be that number one, number two weapon for him. But as far as that, I got the Packers blowing out the Browns probably by a score of maybe like, I say 25-10. Yeah, 25-10. It's not going to be close at all. Going to the Texans versus the Jaguars. 0-2 Texans going against the Jaguars. I feel like this is going to be the Texans bounce back game. They will go into Jacksonville and beat them. Texans are 0-2. They just lost last week to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield had that game-winning drive, and Texas kept it really close. They only held them. They held them to 14 points for at least 3 and more than a half quarters. So for the Texans, CJ Stroud, this will be his bounce back game as he's been having some struggles as far as throwing the ball. I've been seeing it as far as getting to his wide receivers. It's been a little bit of struggle for him, but he'll bounce back against the Jaguars. Jaguars, who are 1-1, will fall to 1-2, and I feel like that's we're gonna leave it as that. Texans are gonna beat the Jaguars. So Bengals versus the Vikings. Bengals are 2-0. The Bengals are 2-0. They just lost Joe Burrow last week. He's going to be out for 3 months. They're going against the Vikings, who last game just could not find it. J.J. McCarthy is still struggling as a quarterback. Now, do I feel like he's going to struggle that much against the Bengals? I don't know. I mean, it's a huge matchup. We get to see who's going to be the best wide receiver, even though the quarterback situation is kind of up to par. But we get to see Jay Jettas going against Jamar Chase. So that's a great matchup to see. But it's kind of shaky because Jake Browning is the quarterback for the Bengals, and J.J. McCarthy has just been having his struggles, even with week 1 when they won against the Bears. So I feel like the Bengals are going to win. In a weird way, I feel like the Bengals are going to go to Minnesota and win this game, but it's going to be close. It's going to be probably like a touchdown. I say they'll win by a score maybe 28-21, in my opinion. It's going to be 28-21. Bengals up against the Vikings. Vikings going to fall to 1-2, and the Bengals are going to be 3-0 without Joe Burrow, which is crazy to say, but I feel like they could actually go in Minnesota and win. Just because of the game last week. My Falcons were just running the football the whole entire game and still beat them by 2 scores. So, yeah. Go into the Steelers at the New England Patriots. Steelers are 1-1, and along with the Patriots, they're 1-1. They're 1-1 as well. There we go, 1-1 as well. They just beat the divisional matchup against the Miami Dolphins. They just beat them by a really close game, really close margin. And the Steelers, they fell short to the Seattle Seahawks by a lot. I'm pretty sure it was 31-14. Steelers are going to be at New England. It's going to be a close game. I feel like the Patriots are going to take the slide on this one. Patriots are actually much better than I thought they were going to be. I kind of didn't have too much hope in Drake May this year, if I'm being honest, but they're actually pretty good. I'm honestly not a great team, but they're better than what I expected them to be. So going against Aaron Rodgers can have at least maybe like a 2 to 3 touchdown game, but it's really going to come up to Drake May. I feel like Drake May has found chemistry with his weapons, and they could win the game and go 2-1 for this week. So go into the game of the week. Los Angeles Rams going against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's definitely the game of the week. It's weird that it's 12 p.m. for Central Time, but it's a 12 p.m. Central game, which is pretty weird. Do you think that would be America's game of the week at 4:25? But it is what it is. That's the schedule makers. Going into it, the Los Angeles Rams are 2-0. Puka Nacua has been playing great. He's definitely been the guy since Cooper Kupp has left and gone to a different team. But Philadelphia Eagles are 2-0. They just beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl rematch. Two teams that are not even at their peak, man. They're not. I feel like they're not. Neither one is at their peak. Neither one is at their peak. They are just now getting to it. And of course, it's early. But I'm just saying, some teams, they fire out and they come out the gates, and it's like, okay, they're 2-0. They definitely can be contenders. These are 2-0 teams that I feel like are not nowhere their peak at all. And it just goes to say, I feel like A.J. Brown is going to have a bounce back, solidified game this week. Devontae Smith will have a great game And I feel like Jalen Hurts is going to show his arm this week. He's going to show a little bit more of his arm. If not, then you have Saquon Barkley, of course, to get the ball too. But I feel like it's gonna come down to Jalen Hurts. Of course, last year when we saw this, it was all Saquon. This year, I feel like it's gonna be the opposite. Jalen Hurts is gonna have a great game, maybe like a 2 to 3 touchdown game, and AJ Brown is gonna get more touches. So Eagles, I got them winning. They'll be at home. They're gonna win the game, and that is that for Rams versus the Eagles. Then we go into the Jets versus the Buccaneers. The Jets are 2-0. 0-2, my bad. The Jets are 0-2 going against the 2-0 Buccaneers. The Buccaneers will be at home. I am taking the Buccaneers for that, even though the Jets are they're really not playing as bad as we thought they were. Like, Breece Hall is definitely been putting up some numbers, right? Garrett Wilson has been playing great as far as just keeping up the tempo and playing good, putting up good numbers. And Justin Fields, who's literally kind of is bringing his career back to life in a sense. So got the Jets going against the Buccaneers. I feel like the Buccaneers are too hot right now. Baker Mayfield is coming off of that game winner, and Bucky Irvin has been playing lights out. He's definitely the running back that the Buccaneers need. And the sort of past couple seasons, they really haven't had a running back. But Bucky Irvin has put it in just as a rookie last year, has filled in those shoes, and now is taking it to the next level. So Buccaneers is going to win this game. Bucky Irvin probably going to have 100 rushing yards, 110 rushing yards. And I feel like it's not going to be as close as people think it is. It's probably going to be like 25 to, I'll say 27 to maybe like 10, respectfully, Jets. Buccaneers are just playing that good this year, in my opinion. Then you got the Colts going against the Titans. The 2-0 Colts are at the Titans. The Titans haven't been playing the best as an overall team. Calvin really hasn't been that number one receiver as most thought he was going to be when he came back last year, and thought he could at least take over this year, but it's just not been going good. But Cam Ward has been playing, he's been playing pretty solid. As a rookie, he's been playing pretty solid. I really have no faults with Cam Ward as of right now. He's, even when he is taking a little bit too long in the pocket, he still has scrambled and made some plays. He threw an absolutely insane pass to one of the Titans wide receivers, and I'm pretty sure he caught it one hand or over the defender's helmet, and it's like, no, he helmet catch it. He helmet catch the ball, and Titans can keep making plays like that. It's going to be a fun season to watch, but the record's not going to show for it this year, at least not this year. So got the Colts, who have actually been playing really good. Danny Dimes has been playing great. 2 back-to-back games. I mean, he threw for 300 yards last week. He has been playing great. I feel like the Colts will go into the Tennessee Titans and beat them pretty easily. Do I feel like they're going to score a lot of points? I don't think so, but it's probably going to be like a 28-21 victory. Jonathan Taylor and Daniel Jones have been performing well, so I feel like that's going to be it for the game going ahead with the Colts versus the Titans. Then you go into, is that the last 1 p.m. game? No, this is the last 1 p.m. game. You got the Raiders going against the Commanders. Raiders are 1-1. As far as the Commanders are 1-1 as well. As far as the Raiders and Commanders, I feel like they both just played some really great teams last week. They played the Packers, and they put the Washington Commanders played the Packers, and the Raiders played the Chargers. I feel like they both ran into really good teams last week. They're both great teams themselves. I feel like they're both are contenders themselves, and it's gonna be a dogfight. This is gonna be a dogfight. This is gonna be a close game. This is going to be a low scoring, maybe 21-18 type game, and Washington is going to lose. Washington's going to lose. Raiders is going to go into Washington and win this game. Geno Smith has been playing solid. Ashton Genty has shown glimpses of him being a elite running back, And I'm really liking this Raiders team, in my opinion. And if it's the opposite way, if the Commanders win by a close margin, then just know I'm right either way. I feel like it's going to be close. 21-18, though, Raiders, in my opinion. All right, now we are at the afternoon game. So you got the Broncos going against the Chargers. Broncos with Bo Nix. They played really great last year, and it's definitely rolling into this year. Sean Payton has been glorified with Bo Nix somehow. He has literally, Bo Nix fell into his hands, and it's definitely been showing. Their defense is still playing great from last year. You got PS2, the best defensive player, in my opinion, other than maybe Myles Garrett. Yeah, other than maybe Myles Garrett, I feel like PS2 is probably one of the best, if not the best defensive player in the league. Them going against the Chargers, though. Chargers have finally found their pieces, found their weapons with Quentin Johnson, with Ladd McConkey, and Keenan Allen coming back. Even with Najee Harris. Najee Harris is probably not one of the better pieces on the team, but even with Najee Harris, pretty solid running back. Them going into the Chargers, I feel like it's going to be a close game as well with this because it's a divisional game. They know each other. Chargers will win though. Chargers will win this game. They'll come out 3-0. I say by a score of 31-27. Then you got the Saints going against the Seahawks. Saints have been losing games, and it makes no sense. In the weirdest fashion ever, they have been losing games. Seahawks, they blew out the Steelers last week, 31-14. Feel like the Seahawks will win again. They'll come out 2-1. Spencer Rattler, I just don't think he's the guy for the Saints. I don't think he's playing bad either. I just don't think he's the guy for the Saints as of right now, as far as quarterback play. I mean, Alvin Kamara is still a elite running back in the league, but it's just being overshadowed by them losing games. And Seattle will come out 2-1. Sam Darnold will play great, and Kenneth Walker as well will play great. Will have a good performance. Then the last two afternoon games, you got the Cowboys versus the Bears and the Cardinals versus the 49ers. So with the Cowboys at the Bears, I feel like the Bears will lose this game, respectfully. Y'all thought I was going to say win. The Cowboys will win by a score of 24-14. I feel like with Dak Prescott, he'll have a solid game. Honestly, he'll have a solid game. The Bears did not look good last week as far as defensively at all, and I know they have some injuries, but Jalen Johnson came back and they put up 52 points. The Lions are still a great team. Don't get me wrong, but 52 points, every NFL team is looking at that and saying, okay, we could at least drop 20. We could at least drop 3 touchdowns on this Bears defense. That's in my opinion what I feel like. If I'm an NFL coach looking at that, 52 points, that is not the best look. And if the Bears come back and bounce back, that would be great for them because they're 0-2. And like I said at the beginning of the podcast, that 0-3 mark, you're pretty much done. If you reach 0-3 as a organization or as a team, you are not making it to the playoffs. You're not making it to the playoffs that year. You're really not. But Bears at home, can they keep it close? But I don't think so. I think they're going to lose by, 24-14. And then the Cardinals going against the 49ers. That's going to be a good game. Kyler Murray has been making some strides with McBridge at tight end. 49ers have been kind of under the radar with their wins, but they've been winning. So Cardinals, I feel like, will win this game, in my opinion, only because I feel like Kyler Murray has been playing better. I feel like Marvin Harrison has finally getting better and put that number one receiver in, or put on those shoes as a number one receiver, and will step up this game. So I feel like the Cardinals will beat the 49ers at the 49ers, which is crazy to say, but I feel like the Cardinals will win it. They got the Thursday night, or you got the Sunday night football, the 0-2 Chiefs, which is crazy to say as well, and against the 0-2 Giants. Giants will lose because Chiefs can't be 0-3, man. They can't. Like I said, the Chiefs can't be 0-3 out of all teams. They can't. It won't happen. They'll go into the Giants. They'll go into the New York. They'll win the game probably by a large margin. I feel like the Giants might keep it close, man. Russell Wilson last game, I feel like the Giants might keep it close. It might be a shootout. Chiefs versus Giants might be a shootout. I say they'll win by a score of 34-27, but the Chiefs will win this game 100%. And then finally, you got Monday Night Football, masterpiece in the making. Lions versus the Ravens. 1-1 Lions versus the 1-1 Ravens. This will be a great game. They'll be at Baltimore. Prime time. Lions just won by a margin of 52. And then the Ravens won by a big margin last week. Look at this. Ravens are averaging 40.5 points per game. And then the Lions are averaging 32.5 points per game. That's insane. Ravens are averaging 337 yards per game. Lions 378 yards per game. And that is ridiculous. So we're looking for a shootout. I'm expecting nothing but a shootout. I'm not expecting nothing but a shootout. Monday Night Football. Ravens are gonna win by a score of 38-32. And those are my predictions for week 3. And I want to implement a new segment into the podcast where I talk about the team of the week. So every week I will pick a player that I feel like that played really good, and I will give their stats, statistics, and talk about how they played, what they did to overcome their opponent. And yeah, so I'll pick one player for each week and we'll just add them going along. I'll probably make, I will make a little post as well for Team Player of the Week. It's my turn, Team Player of the Week. So the first week, we have no other than Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes. I mean, I can't believe it. All off season, is Anthony Richardson going to be is he going to be the quarterback? Is Anthony Richardson going to play good? Is Anthony Richardson going to be the number one guy for the Colts? And every practice, every preseason game, they kept saying no. And then you pick up Danny Dimes, who didn't have the best season with the Giants, but it's starting to just look like it's the Giants at this point. Pick him up in the very first game against the Miami Dolphins, who we thought would have a solid season. I really did. I really thought with Tyreek Hill coming back to have a solid season this year. I wasn't expecting them to go out 0-2, go in 0-2 like this. But Daniel Jones threw a completion rate of 22 of 29 attempts, 272 yards, 75 completion rating, and 1 touchdown. He had a 115 passing rating, and that is just a great thing to see for a Colts fan, because it's just like, okay, maybe at least this year we have a quarterback. We have a quarterback that could take us at least to the playoffs, give us some hope for the future, and give us this something, because Colts need it, man. Colts definitely need it. But Daniel Jones, that would be the person that I picked for week 1. So shout out to Daniel Jones for sure. And then week 2 of the NFL, you have, and this is going to be weird. I know it's going to be weird, but week 2 of the NFL against the Giants, I was thinking about getting or putting Russell Wilson in this boat. In my opinion, I was. But after looking upon it, I think that if I could pull it up, okay, I think, in my opinion, that the Cowboys' Brandon Aubrey should win this game. He went 4 for 4 in field goals, and he kicked a 60-yarder to get them to overtime, and then another 60-yarder to get them to win the game. I'm sitting here like, no way, he did this back to back. I mean, shout out to Dak Prescott. Shout out to the Cowboys offense for getting them into that position. But he drilled that field goal and then get into overtime and drilled it again. I mean, you don't see that as much. I know a lot of kickers have been playing really good as recently, but for him to nail went 4 for the game and then nail 2 back-to-back kicks like that, Brandon Aubrey it's my turn player of the week. And that's it for this podcast, man. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok at DIMT Podcast.
Yes.
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna keep getting content out like this. And make sure you keep following your boy, subscribe. And that's it, man. Peace.